Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be looking at Sygna, Serena, and Zygarde and their rerun, and be asking ourselves, should you summon for this character? So, obviously, Sygna, Serena, and Zygarde, very nice character, right? Very nice Master Fair to have rerunning. They initially dropped around the 2.5 anniversary. Yep, there we go. Took me a little bit to get the numbers, but yeah, around the 2.5 anniversary, a little bit afterwards, about 2 weeks after she dropped. She was actually leaked early, very early actually, because the way the game works is you put in, the developers drop the data download for the game, and they have a key for it, and generally that file is accessible by the public whenever they lift the need for that key. But generally, updates are released probably about 3 weeks early, but you need a key to access it, which only, of course, the development team knows. It's almost impossible to guess it, and if you do guess it, mathematically, it would take you probably, I think, a couple of years, which, of course, 3 weeks, you don't really need that. But they use the exact same key as for the last data mine on Sygna Serena's data mine, so we were able to get her early. At least that's about the gist that I've gotten from that whole thing, but whatever, that's unrelated. Should you summon for this character? In the short end, I would say probably not, but of course, if Serena is your favorite character, which of course I bet she is for quite a few people, or Zygarde is your favorite Pokemon, again, probably also true, of course go for her, because she still is definitely a good sync pair, can definitely provide a lot of good strength, overall still just a strong sync pair in general, so definitely don't take this as me saying she's bad or, you know, less than desirable or anything like that, because she still is good. Keep that all in mind. But whatever, it's fine. Let's go ahead and look at her abilities and go into a little bit more detail on why you shouldn't go for her. So, of course, all 1 out of 5 here we'll look at first. She has, obviously, Zygarde and is a striker. She is actually gaining the EX role of support. So if you have a support EX role candy, or EX roll cake, sorry. If you have a support EX roll cake, or if you plan to go for the paid gem banner, I'm sorry if you do, or whatever else. You know, obviously Serena here, definitely a good benefitter. She's the only character I believe that is getting a rerun that is obtaining a EX roll. All the characters that have EX rolls right now are new characters, so this is our first returning character to get one, and definitely not a bad one either. Getting the support EX roll is definitely very, very nice for her. It definitely helps out, but of course I'm not going to consider this too much because it's practically a limited paid thing for the moment until we start really ramping up our roll cake coins and etc. Right? But right now we don't have enough. Anyway, as we look on here, looking at her stats. Big thing here, she's got 332 speed, which is solid, 424 on both offenses, which is good, 26 HP is fine, 122, 120 defenses are pretty low, shitty, just honestly. But she's obviously got the ability to go into complete Zygarde after using her sync move, so not a big issue, right? Not a big issue. And her stats increase a lot. 398 speed is very good. 508 in both offenses is also very, very good. 146 defense, 143 special defense are also quite a bit better than where they were before, so this is definitely an upgrade. And of course, getting the EX roll of support, that would further boost her defenses and HP, so there is that to consider, but it's, again, only if you have her EX roll, so not something to immensely consider. Either way, stats overall pretty good, I would say, especially for just being an offensive unit. Looking at her moves, she has 1000 Waves, a 4-gauge AoE move, 140 base power, which applies Restrain to all enemies. Not super amazing because it is a split damage move, but the damage can ramp up over time, and especially, obviously, it's going to be good against any, like, Legendary Arena, especially like Raikou, who's going to get obliterated. Other than that, she's got the Dire Hit Plus, raising her crit by 2. Core Enforcer, which is a 4-gauge move, hits all enemies and is 160 base power and has no additional effect. This is fine, honestly, not a big issue. Again, it is AoE, so split damage, but she kind of makes up for it in different aspects, such as her team compositions, where if you run her with Lucas, Lucas can also provide some DPS, and he's obviously a very good partner for her just in general because of how well they synergize, just being both special attackers for the most part, as well as Dragon Zone, of course. And her trainer move here, Feel Our Feelings, 2-gauge, 1-use move, raises both offenses by 6 and applies gradual healing. Healing's nice because her defenses are a little bit low, so any stray AoE moves you can try and heal up off of, assuming you survive, right? So this isn't a bad effect for sure, and of course both offenses being buffed It's great. So maxing all of her offensive stats, a gradual healing, very self-sufficient character. Her sync move, of course, 250 base power, which is fine. It means it doesn't have the reduced damage of a Mega, like all Megas have. And, of course, she transforms into complete form. So she doesn't have that drawback of having a reduced sync damage, just like Sygna Suit Lusamine, which is very, very nice when her Pokemon is able to transform upon sync move. She's also, of course, a Master Fair, so in her passive skills here, she has the Callous Flag Bearer, which powers up all ally moves by 10, and then, you know, the more Callous characters you have, the more that reduction and damage buff is increased, up to 30% extra power and 26% damage reduction. Of course, very nice. Outside of that, she has Strong Start 1, which increases her physical moves and special moves next by 1 when she enters a battle, meaning her first ever 1,000 waves and Core Enforcer are going to hit for boosted damage. So definitely helps with the split damage for sure. She's also got Head Start 1, very nice. Sync Countdown, of course, is always very good. Combine her with a character like Sygna Suit Elisa, to where Elisa is, of course, able to buff her crit, so she can get her crit and her offenses buffed in 2 turns, use the Sync move, and you've got yourself all that sync countdown and a complete form Zygarde, which is nice. She's also, of course, got Restraining Sync up 5, powers up her sync move by 50% when the enemy is restrained, so you do also need to get that restraint in there. Can be annoying, but not too bad just overall. So you get a 50% sync move multiplier as well as, of course, the extra stats. Very nice for sure. And when she goes complete form, sadly she loses all of these abilities and gets Piercing Gaze, which is good, and Impervious, which is also good. And then, of course, she gets Power Hold 5 as well, which powers up her moves and sync moves by 50% when the enemy is restrained. So now her Core Enforcers and 1,000 Waves are going to have a 50% multiplier on top of the boosted stats, and the sync move is going to retain its 50% multiplier as well. So that's very good for sure. Very solid base kit just in general. Sorry. Seems to have just a bunch of stuff that's really good for her self-sufficiency, as well as helping out her damage, even through having split damage moves, for sure. I think that's good. Also, works pretty well with both of the zone users. I would say she works relatively well with Courtney, again, both being physical and both kind of working with each other relatively well. I think she definitely works with Courtney to a less extent than Lucas, because Lucas has his own gauge efficiency and Courtney just provides gauge problems, but you can definitely, you know, make up for that. And of course, again, Lucas, very good partner for her in general, even outside of the Dragon Zone. They both do relatively well together. But anyway, yeah, overall, 1 out of 5 is not too bad, for sure. You can definitely get an easy off type out of it, especially being an innate striker, meaning, of course, you EX her, she's going to be looking pretty solid. I need to look at the schedule again. Yeah, I'll probably do a showcase over her, or like a re-look at, I guess. I'll probably do something like that on the 26th, assuming we don't get the data mine, and then after that on the 27th, I'll probably have another video, but whatever, that's just my schedule. Yeah, I'll probably do a little bit of a review over her on the day after her drop, because I obviously need to delegate the 25th to doing Hilda's grid expansion and looking at her. But anyway, whatever, I'm getting a little bit off topic. Overall, not a bad character for sure, 100%. If you like her and you want to go for her, I understand that. She's strong, she's a likable character, likable Pokemon, etc. That's perfectly fine. Definitely not going to regret it. But of course, in terms of just a sheer value standpoint, Red is able to do consistently better damage, and he's also a Master Fair of his own. Probably easier to use as well due to needing a lot less setup, as well as providing freeze on any enemy he touches with his Buddy move. So he's just easier to use, especially for newer players, of course. And I'd say 3 out of 5, he's obviously just far, far better in terms of damage than Serena here. 1 out of 5, I think you could say it's contestable, but I wouldn't, probably not, honestly. I'd say Red's probably just even better with damage at 1 out of 5. And even if not, he's got better sync countdown, he's got the freezes, he's got just easier use, I would say. And obviously better teams with the other Kanto characters that are released alongside him, so yeah, I would say probably go for Red if you want a good damage dealer, more so than Serena. And obviously, of course, Serena will be lasting until the 25th of October, or 24th, I guess, technically, where you can, of course, wait until this October data mine and pull her then, right? Because, again, that's why I said with Palmer and Argenta, you could just wait, see what the data mine is, see if there's anyone else you want to pull for, and whatnot, right? So, yeah, keep that in mind. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the reasons why you should or should not go for her. Just up to you, of course, at the end of the day, but I'd probably recommend against it just in terms of a value standpoint. But whatever. Let's go ahead and look at the dupe levels. 1 out of 5, she has pretty much nothing. She's got move gauge refresh on both moves, which is nice for the potential gauge problems you may incur. But of course, just you can pick those up anyway. I'm pretty sure you can pick up everything in the grid, no problem. 2 out of 5, she gets Hold Hostage 1, a 10% power buff to her normal moves when the enemy is restrained. Obviously not super big, but it is something. Other than that, she doesn't really have anything, I would say. Maybe just extra move gauge refreshes, that's literally it. But overall, not a valuable 2 out of 5 at all. The 10% damage multiplier is not even going to make a difference for the most part. So definitely nothing crazy there. 3 out of 5, she's got a lot more, of course. She's got Brain Power, a 100% sync multiplier. Combine it with the 50% sync multiplier you get here, and it's obviously going to do you quite a lot of damage for sure. Super Sinker as well, but of course, she's going to do good super effective damage anyway. This is not a problem. If you need Dragon or Ground types, you've got a lot of options. For Dragon, Lance and Lucas have both had a lot of reruns. Sygna Zulian has had a lot of paid reruns. And just in terms of free options, Zinnia and Cyrus are both available as well and are both pretty easy to use and don't require too much to cover super effective damage stages, especially Cyrus. Cyrus is definitely very fine as is. Zinnia a little bit less so, but still definitely workable 100%. So yeah, overall there's that. And of course we've obviously got Drasna. Obviously she's been in the general pool for less than a month at this point. But if you have managed to somehow pull her, then of course you've got her as well. Definitely very good for dragon damage. She was pretty much built for it. And ground types, we do have the special custom Rosa event, which I think sadly is leaving as of the time of uploading this video. So if you have not farmed Naomi out yet, you will not be able to. But if you have already done that, which you should have, then there you go. You have her. Other than her, for ground types, Clay's relatively solid. Just honestly, he is. Hunter's Instinct, Brute Wits, Saint moves, Verdulent Toxin, Ramming Speed, as well as having the NA multiplier here. Clay does fine, honestly. Clay does fine for the most part, especially against ground weak stages specifically. So I'd say Clay is probably just going to be fine for ground anyway. Courtney, again, also does just fine. Does apply ground zone as well, so she's even better at that. You can pretty much use Courtney. Assuming at 3 out of 5, rather, honestly. I'd say 3 out of 5 she does a lot better, but even if not 3 out of 5, combine her with Clay, and you've probably got yourself a winnable setup. Other than that, you've got Bertha, who's got a solid nuke. She'll be just fine. Cynthia, who's pretty old, and just some other options just in general. So, ground, you're not showing too bad for. I could see potentially being unlucky and not having super amazing ground pairs, but maybe try Clay and a Courtney combination. They should work just fine for most ground weak stages. I would hope anyway. But anyway, yeah. Back to Serena. So that's why Super Sinker doesn't matter too much. She does have Soften Up, which has the crits land easier when using a sync move. Obviously, this just takes the RNG out of sync moves. Probably nothing super crazy, but it's fine. Rejuvenate 6, as we stated. Super Duper Effective 2, Status Immunity, and Sands of Time. And she's also got Sync Damage Guard and Turn Move BOGO. So, honestly, grid, not bad for sure, but I wouldn't say it applies anything super crazy. This is literally it. I would say this is pretty much about it for what her sync move is able to provide. Really, this is it, right? I mean, other than that, you got the Hold Hostage 1, and you can go for like a special tech buff. You could go for sync gauge efficiency, rather, with Rejuvenate or the Trainer BOGO 9. You could go for super effective damage with Super Duper Effective 2 or Super Sinker. But overall, nothing super necessary, right? If you're going to go for a nuking super effective grid, probably something like this, but honestly, the enemy probably won't survive past the same move, so I wouldn't see the necessity in that. I would say a lot of Serena's definite use comes just from 1 out of 5, but 3 out of 5 isn't bad either. Brain Power is definitely nice, but that's about all she gets. And obviously the Sync nodes as well. Honestly, you could try her at 1 out of 5 and see if you want to candy her, but honestly, I would say just keep her at 1 out of 5. 2 out of 5, and 2 out of 5 definitely does nothing insane. This is it, and this is not a big difference. 10% is not going to make the day for you, at least against most stages. And 3 out of 5, 100% multiplier, that's good, but it's kind of lacking, especially compared to other strikers that have released this month specifically. Again, back to the example of Neo Champion Red, 3 out of 5, boom, 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 boom. Let's see, Brain Power. They both have Brain Power. Opponent, this, whatever fucking we'll call this ability, this ability, this ability, this ability. This ability could be good. Recharging Strike could be solid. This guy's got a lot of stuff, alright, at 3 out of 5. So, honestly, a lot of characters that just like 3 out of 5 more. Palmer definitely wants a lot of, it definitely has a lot of stuff himself at 3 out of 5 as well. So, I mean, let's be real. Compared to other characters specifically, Serena doesn't exactly require all that much in order to be good. So, her 1 out of 5, honestly, works just fine. 3 out of 5 is just this. Definitely does not provide too much compared to other characters, at least modern characters. So, overall, should you summon for Serena and Zygarde? Probably not, unless they're your favorite character, which of course, always go for your favorites. Have fun, play the game how you want to play it. She could also be good for a future Dragon-type high score event, which I think is definitely, I wouldn't say on the horizon, because we still, honest to God, do lack some Dragon-type sync pairs, but whatever, right? I guess we're probably doing fine, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Probably. I think we're lacking supports. I think we've literally got 2 dragon supports, don't we? I think that's literally it. 3. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Palatine's Mallow. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Anyway, yeah. Good unit for sure. Just not super valuable, especially compared to other characters, at least this month. I would say Palmer and Neo Champion Red are probably 2 better examples, especially in terms of just being strikers. In terms of overall value, Neo Champion Leaf and Blue definitely provide more value than Serena here. And I would say probably Argenta too, honestly, I would say so, but whatever. Yeah, I'm going to end the video there, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me know if you're going to be summoning for Sygna Suit Serena and Zygarde down in the comments below. And if you get lucky, awesome. Whatever. I wish you all the best of luck, and yeah, I'll see you all later.